Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of things as we begin. I wanted to make certain that you are updated on what's going on and reminding you what you need to do. First thing, and I've got it on the list here, make certain you turn in your propaganda poster. I have a few of them posted in. I have very few from seventh period. I'm missing quite a few from second period. So make certain you're turning those in. So if you'll turn those in to me, you can take a photograph of them, turn it into Google Classroom, or if you're creating it in a sheet, go ahead and turn those in to me so I can grade them because it is in the grade book. So make certain you do that. The second thing I want you to make certain you've done is you've already chosen your genocide. Now, I've had a little confusion there, and I get it, about posting in that line item telling me that you wanted a particular one. So make certain you post it in there that they see that. If I sent you a note, make certain you've reposted it. I have several students who haven't chosen a genocide yet, so you need to go ahead and choose those. And then, number three, you need to begin to research on that. Now, here's the way I want you to do it so you understand completely. I want you to open up a new Google Doc. And in that Google Doc, I want you to put all your notes. It's going to be your scratch paper or your note cards with all your quotes on it. So as you're reading, either copy the quote over or summarize on that, and then make certain you're copying the URL from that article over with those. In fact, what you ought to be doing is as soon as you're using that URL, you ought to be opening up EasyBib, and with EasyBib open, go ahead and run it through while you still have the article open. Because if it asks you for things like publishing date or all those type of things, you can go ahead, put them into EasyBib and create your bibliography. Then copy that down. So in the bottom of your notes, you ought to be working and putting that full bibliography in there. Because what I'm going to want you to do on Monday, I'm going to want you to turn that whole sheet in to me. You can share it with me. In fact, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Put it in a share and say, hey, I've shared it with you on the Monday's Google Classroom. That way you still have working access to it. And here's the reason why. I can't walk around to make certain that you're doing it like I normally would in the classroom. So I want you to turn it into I see it. It must have a completed bibliography. By Monday, you should be finished with your research. That's giving you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the weekend, and Monday. So that's giving you at least 4 or 5 days to do your research. And so do your research, get your bibliography together. Now, the good thing about finishing the bibliography is it is going to be finished unless you find a new article to bring in. All right. So on Monday, you're going to be turning in or sharing with me your project or your work notes with a completed bibliography. It is a 0 if there's no bibliography with it. So make certain you're going ahead and working that. URLs are not bibliography. You must put them through EasyBib. Okay, just like we did the other. All right. Okay, let's look more specifically at this research paper because I want to make certain you have everything together. Now, it does not have a limit to it, meaning normal number of pages. I do want you to keep it relatively short, meaning I don't want 10 pages, but some of your research papers could easily do that. What I want you to do is focus on basically these questions and answer them. The first question I want you to answer is, when did this genocide begin? Because I have them posted anywhere from BC to current. And you might even do some research because there are some current genocides going on. So tell me when it's happening, who's doing the killing. Let me give you an illustration. Now, on the when, we could look at 1938 to 1945 with the Nazis and the Holocaust. So that would kind of be our dates. So that's what I need you to do, okay? Who is doing the killing? Now, again, let's go back to our illustration of our Nazis. We know that the German Nazis are doing this. And when we get down to why is this happening, Why would it happen? Well, we know that Hitler wanted to blame someone. He didn't like the Jews, and so he began to blame the Jews for the problem. And so I would put that in my paper. Why is it happening? It's happening because Hitler is saying, here's who to blame, and the people are buying it. And so that is what's it. So who's doing the killing? This illustration from the Holocaust, it's going to be the Nazis. The Nazi Germans are doing it. Who is being killed? Now, in the Holocaust, we know it's the Jews, but we also know it's the gypsies and the communists and those political dissidents. So, but for the most part, we focused on the genocide, so I would say it was the it was the Jews. So, who's being killed in yours? Where is this happening? Now, in Germany, we know that it happened in Germany, Poland, and Austria, and Czech, and we know that that's kind of where all those things were happening. But it's happening during that World War II and the things that were going on. So any place the Germans were. Now yours may be in a specific area. Some may be in a very small location that it's happening. Some may be large. So make certain you give me the whole scope of where is this happening in the world, right? Remember, the name of that country may have changed, but make certain you tell me where that is, all right? Why is this happening? We already talked about that. What brought this on? Why do they not like? Why do these people not like these people? What's their motivation to wipe them out? Okay, how many are killed? Now, we're talking 6 million Jews. We're talking 10 million together. If we were looking at the whole Holocaust and that whole genocide going on, 10 million meaning keeping the gypsies and the communists and all those, the rest of those they killed. So how many people are killed? Now, for the most part, there may be a lot. Some may not be as much because the ethnic group may not be that large, but it's still considered a genocide because they're trying to wipe out that whole group. All right? And what stopped this? Now, there was a reason. Why did Hitler stop? Well, he lost the war. In other instances, they may lose a war. They may have a change of leadership. The UN may put pressure. There's going to be a lot of different reasons for why this stopped. Now, all these are important. One, our whole purpose for this paper is to see genocides go on and have gone on all along. And if we're going to focus on this essential question of what can one person do, they can come back and say, whoa, hang on here. You see that these particular people right here are being wiped out. We need to do something about it. And they can start vocalizing that and hopefully put enough pressure that would stop and the country would go out, and then our country would go after that country and say, stop, they're wiping those out. So that fits in our whole thing. Now, as to the paper length, it's up to you. The key points that I want you to see are going to be right here. Okay, here are the must-haves on your paper, right? These are the things that the rubric is going to be looking at. First of all, you must have a title. They can be just the title of the genocide, anything like that. Meaning, don't go crazy, don't spend a lot of time, but make certain you tell me, hey, it's Holodomor, the Holodomor genocide. I'm okay with that, but it's going to have a title. Second, it must have an introduction. So that means you need to use some kind of hook. A hook might be a quote from somebody in it, or a statement, or something about Holocaust over there, or genocide altogether. Okay, so you can use that as a hook. Numbers, great way to put a hook out there, right? It must have a thesis statement, and that thesis statement ought to look something. Don't go huge, like go back to our thesis statement. It just say, here's the problem, and I'm going to tell you about it this way, and this. I'm going to tell you who, what, where, when, where, why. That's fine. Make certain that it has a thesis statement that you follow. And remember, when you put those, if you use the who, what, when, that here's a paragraph on who, here's a paragraph on why, here's a paragraph on when. However you set that thesis statement will point out the paragraphs that you need. That'll make it easier for you because you must have body paragraphs. Notice I said plural. And so your thesis statement ought to help with that. And then you literally work through those paragraphs answering it. The last, you must have a conclusion. Remember, you're going to tell me what it is here, so you're going to restate the thesis in your conclusion. So you might say, if we were talking about the Holocaust, you might say something about, so the German Nazis, because of Hitler's leadership, wiped out 6 million Jews from 1938 to 1946 in this mass attempt to completely eradicate the Jews. I feel that's wrong. Remember, now in this one, you can definitely come in and give your opinion. I feel that was wrong because no one should wipe out people. No nut should be allowed to exterminate people. See, I'm going to allow you to tell me your feelings after you've done your research and tell me the facts and all from it, because this is fact finding. That's really what I want in this body paragraph thesis statement. This is your fact. Keep our logos front. Okay, when you come into your pathos, you can mix a little pathos in, and I'm good with that. But keep it mostly logos. But if you really want to use pathos, I'm really good at it a little bit in the introduction, logos in your body, and then when it comes down to your conclusion, you can come back with a lot more pathos type of arguments. Now, the two things that are going to be necessary. Again, it's a 0 if it doesn't have these, both of them. It must have a bibliography. That's the reason why I'm having you upload that front, so I can look over to make sure that it's good from the start. No wikis. You must have at least 5. Okay, let me say that again. You must have at least 5. That's the only way you're going to prove it's a research paper, not just copying one particular author's ideas of what happened here, right? So you must have a bibliography of at least 5. They must be in alphabetical order. The URLs are not a bibliography. URLs are not a bibliography. Take that URL, run it through EasyBib, fill out anything it's missing. It'll print it out in the order that it needs to be. That's the bibliography. Put it down on the bottom. Citations, that means in your paper, in these body paragraphs, even in the hook, if you use a quote, you're going to put right after that summary. I don't care if it's the middle of the sentence, whatever, but you're going to put down here at the bottom, you're going to put right next to it, open parentheses, whatever the first word is from the bibliography, put that in there, close. Now, here's what I want you to be careful about, because a number of them are going to begin with the name of your genocide. Let me use Holodomor as an example. In that particular one, because I've seen this one, a lot of the things begin with Holodomor / whatever, Holodomor, and so you can't just put Holodomor, because I'm not going to know which of the articles from the bibliography you're talking about. You must put more. Hopefully you're going to put the author's name. If you can't find the author's name, if you're using a website or something like that, you must give me enough. That means some of these will be larger, but I must be able to tell the difference between which of the bibliography quotes you are quoting. All right? Now, so let's go over the thing. These are due the notes. Your copy of the notes with a completed bibliography are due on Monday. Tuesday, it's 10%, 10 points off, and it'll continue that way. Then this is due, I believe it's set for the 26th. Maybe not. It's set for Thursday, whatever next Thursday is. So that's when it's due, and it's Thursday at midnight. So make certain you get those finished and turned in. Now, if you want someone to peer review it, peer edit it, please do that. If you have access to Grammarly, run it through it, clean up everything, because I'm going to take off for grammar, I want to take off for spelling. If I see something that's dotted, underlined, and red, you know that's going to be points off. And if it's underlined in red or underlined in blue, you know those are errors you need to take care of. Read it out loud. Once you finish writing the paper, read it out loud. Allow your ears to hear it, because you're going to go, oh, hang on, that doesn't sound right, and go back and fix that. All right? So read it out loud, run it through Grammarly, or run it through, if you have Word, run it through Word, put it in there. You can turn it in Word if you want. My preference is going to be turn it in a Google Doc, only because I can edit those. And I will be using edit symbols. And this particular one, you're going to, when I do an edit symbol, you're going to go back and you're going to fix those because I want to make certain you're seeing what mistakes you're making. Okay? So for the next week or so, this is what you're working on. All right? I've got other things we're going to do after that. We're going to go back to some springboard stuff, and I've got the end of the year. I've got us planned to the end of the year, so I've got plenty of materials that hopefully are going to keep you engaged, especially at home. Now the good thing is, at least at home, you can work a little bit, take a mental break, work a little bit, take a mental break. And I'm not standing over you saying you're not doing that. But if you do not turn things in, I'm going to be contacting your parents because they're my only outlet to make certain that you're doing it. And every time I contact your parents for something, you know it's going to be worse for you at home. So let's take care of things right up front, teach you some responsibility, and take care of these. It's going to be a great time. We're going to end up these presentations. I might even do something else with it because I want other people to see and experience. So we may open these up and let everybody else read them or look at them also. Originally, this assignment was to be presented before the class. So you would quickly, in about 3 minutes, tell about the Holocaust or about the genocide that's going on so that others see that. So I'll try to figure that out, how we might do that, because I do want other people to know. Just looking at that list, there are a lot of genocides out there. And so it's not just the Holocaust, okay? Though the Holocaust is bad, a lot more out there. Been millions and millions and millions of people killed like this, all right? If you have questions, okay, my personal office hours, the times you can always catch me if you send me an email or anything like that, I'm going to try to have my office hours between 9 and 11 every day. That means I'll be in there. Now, like yesterday, I was in until about 12:30. I had some errands to run, and then I got back at about 7 that I checked my emails and all and tried to answer. So that's going to be kind of my thing. I will always be here 9 to 11 for you to contact and whatever. If I can help you anyway, please ask the question and reach out. Reach out to some of your friends. And friends, if you don't know the answer, make certain they're directed back to me so we get those answers and get it done correctly. All right? Thank you very much. If you need anything, let me know.